Hi, it's me again. I wanted to do this just in case if this is gonna be the last time I record an episode. I know, sounds so dramatic, right? but yeah, I never thought this hike would be this, dangerous. Well, I'm just exaggerating it. I'm just making it sound like it's dangerous. But it is. It's like right now, if I just slip one of my foot, I'll be dropped down there, I don't know, 3,000 feet, 4,000 feet. This mountain pretty tall. And yeah, because I just saw this guy right in front of my face, like right in front of me. He slipped, just one foot slip, and he slide all the way to the cliff, and just like 10 inches away from falling off the cliff, right in front of my face. Like he was like 20 feet away from me, right in front of me. And I saw it happen. And that could have been me. That could have been me. And what I've noticed is that he tried to rush it. He tried to rush the route. And when he got to the end of the route, he had to climb down. But he could have just, turned around and turn around and go back to the main route so he won't have to take the shortcut. He could have done that. But he wanted to rush. And I think I'm not judging or anything. I'm saying that could happen to any of us. It's happened to me more than I could remember. But it's not life and death situation. But it just, whenever we try to rush things, we tend to fall. Really bad. Instead, we could have just stopped there and acknowledged that we fucked up. We took the wrong route. Now, we can just turn around, take a detour, and try it again. But this time, you're not losing. You're still in the game. And that is the way you lose the game. It's when you rush. You try to rush everything. You try to make everything happen now. It have to work now, or else it will never. And on this hike, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself and just life in general. Sometimes you just gotta live a little slower, even though it feels like you're behind. Even though it feels like you're alone on this route, this trail. You're still in the game. Earlier on this trial, I started This trail is like 14 mile. With the route I'm taking, it's gonna be like 16 mile. And a lot of people that went with me at the beginning, it was a lot of people. But then halfway in, I turned around. I did not see anyone. It was just me. It was just me alone. And like the further I go from the beginning, the more people I see coming back because they couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't push themselves any further. And that's same goes with life too. The one that keep going, even though it's hurt, even though it's painful, even when it feels like you have nothing left to give, nothing left to hold on to. You can still put one foot right in front of the other. Gosh, this rain doesn't do any help. I'm going downhill and it's raining. And I hope I make it this out alive. I'll take it slow. I'll take this slow, but I hope I'll make this out alive. If I do, I'll post this episode. If not, then you wouldn't be hearing from me from now. Well, you wouldn't be knowing about this episode anyway. But where I was going. Hold on, I gotta put on my rain jacket. Sorry, I had to put my jacket because it started raining. I hope I'm not gonna get. Oh God, let me talk slow. I hope I'm not gonna get slip and drop down to the cliff. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at the bottom because it's so deep, and I'm not a fan of hike either. But what I've learned from this trip is that most of the fear in your head, when you face them, they're not as bad. They're not as bad as you think, or your brain make it seem. Like going on this hike, I was terrifying. At the beginning of the hike, I started at Logan Pass, and right at the beginning, it's a cliff, like by the rock, like the mountain, but it's like vertical, for like rock climber to do it. Yeah, that kind of rock. And they will carve down the pathway through the mountain, through that rock. And let me put it to perspective. They put a bunch of wire by the wall so you can hold on to it, so you won't fall off the cliff. That's how dangerous it is. Because for some reason you start acting stupid. 1 foot away from where your foot's supposed to be, and you're off the cliff. I thought this hike wasn't as bad, because I hike in North Carolina, and none of the trail was dangerous like at this one. Jesus Christ, I was frightened. It's like my brain was telling me, stop there, go back, stop going. This trail is 16 mile long, and you're just 0.01 mile in, And this shit is what you have to deal with. You know, my brain was like ringing the alert, telling me to stop and turn around because my brain is telling me that I want to live another day. So turn around. If you don't want to die, turn the fuck around. And I stood there. And I looked down. And I was terrified. But I kept going anyway. And you know what happened? It gets better. It's like the further I go, the less fear I feel, even though I'm still hiking on the edge of a cliff, but not as scary, but still. And the further I go, the more numb to the fear that I get. And I keep on looking at the bottom of the mountain, and I feel less fear. Felt like less afraid of what was going down there. So I kept going. And then on the road, you would see all of these bear poop all over the trail. I'm not sure if they're bear poop, but that's what the hikers say. The other hikers say. The tiny little balls of poop. They're all over the trail. You keep on seeing it. And my brain, my subconscious mind, I keep telling me that to stop. Turn around, you want to eat by a bear. But I didn't listen. I didn't listen to that voice today. And I kept going. And guess what? Yeah, here I am, still alive. And I'm still going. I never thought going alone on a hiking trip would teach me so much about life, but it did. And looking back, spending over $2,500 on this trip, it was worth every penny. Even on this trail that I'm on right now, climbing up, it was like hell. Like I've never been on any trail that is so exhausting. It's like inclined to a very tall mountain to see the glacier. And halfway, my legs felt like they wanted to fall off. It wanted to fall off. My knees was aching like a motherfucker. But at that point, I had no other choice. Either put one foot in front of the other, or no. But I did. And I kept on doing that, even though I was in pain. Just one foot in front of the other. And little as you know it, 45 minutes later, I made it to the top. And it was the most beautiful, gorgeous, breathtaking views I've ever seen. The glacier, yeah. But there was not a lot left because it's melting. Up close. Climate change is real, right? Yeah. Hi, it's me. Today is Labor Day. It's Monday. So it's September the 1st actually. And the day I recorded is the episode before this is, I don't know, Thursday last week. So it's been 3-4 days since I left Montana. Well, the day I recorded this, well, a couple of seconds ago, it was my last day in Montana, and I was hiking the Highline Trail, and it was probably one of the most scary moment of my life, because you were always 1 foot away from falling off the cliff. It was scary. And it was raining while I was on my way down too. So I had to cut it off because it got a little too slippery. So here I am finishing the rest of it. And during that episode, it was, inspirational. I was, all I could think about was just that. And, dying was the only thing in my mind. And I was focused. And I was sort of at peace with myself at the time. I mean, the entire time out there in Montana. And it was probably one of the most beautiful moments, of my life, because it was just me and myself out there. No one, no work, nothing I was worrying about except that, because that hiking trail was quite of a trail, yeah. But here I am, back home, back to work. We were open on today, Labor Day. Everyone else stopped work, and we were there working. Well, gotta make money somehow, right? Gotta pay the bills. I'm not complaining, but it's just that as soon as I got back here, it's like I'm back to the person I was before I went to Montana. And it feels like I'm back to square one again. Back to the person I was. Back to how I always act. And yesterday, Sunday, I sat in my apartment around like 7 something until 10, doing nothing, just sitting on the kitchen counter, just sitting there. And I was having a breakdown because I felt alone. I feel lonely. Despite the fact that I have so many, family around me. Yes, I felt so alone. Even though I felt some of it back in Montana. But it just, like here, I just feel so out of place. And it just felt like I'm just not where I want to be. I'm just missing connection. I'm longing for someone else to fill that gap. But is it really what I was looking for? I don't know. But it just, as soon as I got back here, everything it just back to the way it was. And I don't know. And well, we're getting close to the 20-minute mark, so I have to stop here. And I didn't come back with nothing. I came back from Montana and I learned a lot about myself. I really did. But I just really need to sit down and look at my life and be appreciate for what I have and stop acting like a little bitch, you know? Maybe that's what I just needed to do. And just take it easy one day at a time, alright? Anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope I'll see you on the next one.